Hey developers, today we're looking at coder.com. We're going to look at the self-hosted version of Visual Studio Code that you can run in your browser. It's pretty cool, so make sure you stay all the way to the end. Hey, and if you don't know, my name is Eric. I am a full stack software developer. And just to remind you guys, all throughout this video, I'll make sure to leave the links to all these websites in the description below. And make sure you click on those, check it out, and that will really help me out. Thanks. So we're on the coder.com website. If you don't remember, a few months ago, I went ahead and did a couple of videos on coder.com. We went through and created an Angular app. I also went through and showed you how to log in and how to use it. It's really useful and helpful. It's a way basically that you can create your whole web development environment inside your browser. You don't have to have your environment set up in your laptop or anything. So it's really convenient. So now they have added a host yourself option, which I'll show you guys. So if you click here on this, and by the way, when you go to the GitHub website, make sure you click on that star to star the repo. That would be really cool. And check out the issues and feel free to contribute too. They are working really hard on it. And this is, like I said, 100% absolutely for free. So you don't have to buy it or anything like that. And you can actually run it in Docker as well. So right now they support Mac and Linux, and Windows support is coming soon. So you can see right here. But if you have Docker, you could probably run on Windows, I guess. So what you do is you download the binary, and then after you're done downloading the binary, you can essentially open up any folder you need to, and it'll open up in the web browser. And then you'll have a full-featured Visual Studio Code that you can use plugins and then create your app with. So let me show you how that works. I went ahead and downloaded it already. So here's my terminal. And I went ahead and extracted it. It comes with the license, README, and the code server. And then I created an index.html just to show you. So I'm going to, inside the terminal here, I'm going to run code server. And that'll go ahead and start it. And then it'll give me this password, and it mentions to open up it on port localhost 8443. And you can actually run it with a few command line arguments. You can run it to do some with keys and things like that, but you shouldn't have to worry about that right now. So if I go to localhost 8443, you might get first time you run this, you might get some kind of message that you need to, that it's a not secure website. You just click the little advanced button and then click continue, and it'll go into this page right here. In fact, if you go into the directions here, they have a quick start guide. And then in the quick start guide, they mention running it and the server password, and you might see a screen like this. Your connection is not private. And you just click that advanced button and then click proceed, and it'll go ahead and open for you. But I already did that, so I could just paste in the password here and click remember me and then hit enter IDE. And I'm not going to worry about LastPass. But see here, it went ahead and opened. It just looks just like Visual Studio Code as you imagine it would. In fact, I have Visual Studio Code open here. You can see it's very similar looking. Basically the same thing. And I went ahead and created an index.html file. So, and I even installed a few plugins. So I installed a Vim style plugin so I can move around. I noticed one of the plugins I used didn't work, so I'm not sure why, but I think maybe I'll ask about it. It was another Vim plugin. It wasn't working, but this one works. So yeah, so it has everything you would expect from a Visual Studio Code. The only thing I didn't see is Emmet wasn't 100% working. Like if I try to type in some class name and then hit tab, it wasn't auto-completing, so I'm not sure why it didn't do that. But for the most part, it works fine. It's still, if I like create a script tag here, it auto-completes, auto-ends it for me, so that's great. So I went ahead and just created this HTML template here and through Visual Studio Code, and then I used the script tag to get the unpackaged.com view, and then I just created a basic view app. So you see here, I'm just typing in hello world, but if I wanted to, I could say hello from tutorial, and I'll save it. And if I open back up I have it open up in the web browser here. If I refresh it, you see hello from tutorial. So it's working great. And then you have everything you would expect from Visual Studio Code. You can search, of course, through everything. You have the directories that you can go through. You can create files. You can open files. You can even open a different folder. It has a full folder section here. It also remembers it. So if you install a plugin and reopen it, it remembers it. And you can see here I'm just running this from the browser, so I don't have to worry about running it inside, in actually running the program or downloading it or anything like that. You can see you could do selections. Let's see here, we have terminal, so I can even open up a terminal here. It has my Z shell, so that's good. You know, that all works fine as we expect it. You can do all your debugging. Like so you can see help. Looks very familiar, all your help commands. You can create different workspaces. You can even create a new window. Actually, that's not implemented yet, but you can open different files. I can create an empty file and start from there. So it's pretty useful and handy. It works pretty well. Another thing you can do, so once you're done, you can just close the tab and you can close it out right here. Let's see here, if I run code server --help, there we go, --help. You can see here, you can put in the working directory when you start it, so you can start from a different directory. You can put a hosting option. It defaults to 0.0.0, but you can put in a different IP address, I suppose. It opens up in a browser in the startup. You can change the port if you want. If you didn't want 8443, you can put different certificates and a certificate key, and you can also do no auth. So I was thinking of different examples. Now, they mention on the web page that you can, this is great for like if you're coding on a Chromebook or a tablet or a laptop and you want a consistent development environment, you can't easily install Visual Studio Code. This is perfect. You can take advantage of large cloud servers to speed up tests, compilation, downloads, and more. Preserve battery life when you're on the go. Since all intensive computation is ran on your server, you no longer run excess instances of Chrome. So one thing I wanted to show you guys is this is really handy if you have like a cloud server. You can run it on a cloud server. So one thing I was thinking about is in my internal network, I actually have my own box that's running SSH on my own internal network. It's like a WordPress website that I have. So what I could do, SSH, so I can SSH into my box, and then I can do port forwarding. So what that means is I can port forward from my box that I'm on and have me be able to open it up here locally. So I'm going to go into my 192.168.1.248. I'm going to forward all 8443 to the local host 8443. So I'm going to log into my server. Actually, what I can do here is I can make directory called bin. And then what I'll do is I'll wget, or you can use curl if you want. I'm going to go ahead and download the latest Linux version of this. So I'm going to click download a binary, and I'm going to copy the link address here, and I'm going to get it, and it's going to download. And so this is just downloading the gzip tar onto my server, not on my Mac, but on a server that I have here that I just SSH'd into. And you can see here it is. So I'm going to extract it. I'm going to do tar xffz, and it's going to extract it. It's going to put it all into this folder here. So you can see here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this code server just down a folder. And then I'm going to remove the folder because I don't really need it. And now, since I have it in the bin folder, I should be able to run it from anywhere. So I just have some random programming stuff in here. And I'm going to run code server. And cool, so it's running right now on localhost 8443. But I can't, obviously this is a server it's running on, I can't connect to it, it's on my Zulu server. But now I can, since I'm port forwarding it over, I should be able to open it up here. See here, and it gives me the warning about the certificate. I'm going to proceed to localhost. I'm going to grab this password. I'm going to paste it. And it should be connected. So I'm essentially now on my server, and I can now run my code and do whatever I want. So if I want to go into my view folder that I'm in here, I can see what I wrote. I can look at my app.view. By the way, I didn't download all the Vue. I could search in the marketplace for my Vue extension. Let's see here. Let's say I can do Vue snippets. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the Vue VSCode extension pack and a couple of other packs here. So now I'll go back into my app.view. All right, so you can see here I restarted it, and you can see now I have syntax highlighting. And this is really cool. So I could see definitely like buying a cheap DigitalOcean or a cheap VPN or VPS out there, virtual private server, being able to use that as your main development environment, using something like this, the remote Visual Studio Code, and then just running stuff on the server. And this would be perfect for your QA environment or your development environment, or if you just needed a real quick change to production. Probably wouldn't want to do that normally, but so this is a real lightweight and easy way to do things. So far I'm pretty impressed with everything it can do. They are a work in progress. It's an open source project, so they're continuously updating it and upgrading it. So I would check it out. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And like I said, it's 100% free, so make sure you check out the GitHub repository. So yeah, make sure you check out coder.com and check out the repository. Thanks.